2024 was the best year of my life. I traveled all across the United States, all across the world, completed my dreams, made an Olympic team, and I am just getting started. Let's talk about 2024. This was my third attempt at trying to make an Olympic team. So starting the year off, I was knee deep in base training. I'm talking running, jumping, throwing, lifting, and doing more drills than you can possibly imagine. It was all about the technique. And I unintentionally became a meme for standing on business in the year 2024. I officially became a member of Team Brooks and then was selected for my second World Indoor Championships to represent Team USA, where not only did I make my first final, but I did so with the flu. And I got to stay in Scotland a couple extra days to explore one of the most beautiful countries in the world. We flew from Scotland to New York City, where I was able to fulfill a childhood dream of being on a Time Square Billboard.
Oh my gosh. I literally can't even believe it.
Speaking of billboards, I came back home to San Diego to see myself featured on a billboard for Blenders and was also part of their American Icon campaign. I got a lot of text messages for that one. Let's get back to the track for a second, because we did have some pretty good successes there. I joined the 12-second club in the hurdles and went 12:95. I went 14:67 in the shot put, by far the furthest I've ever thrown. And I also did the same thing in the javelin. I mean, what a great throwing year for me this year. And then I broke a 9-year personal best, something I've been working for so long in the 800. It's been a pretty good year. And let's not forget about the overall heptathlon score. I mean, I'm gonna take it. That was one of the coolest days of my entire life. 64-56, top 13 performance in American history. And I made my very first Olympic team with a silver medal to boot. After the trials, I went to the ESPYs, where I was on the ESPYs best dressed list. I got on my first hot air balloon. It was so gorgeous. And I also got more USADA drug testing than I ever had in my entire life. The Olympics were a movie. I was able to do the opening ceremonies, meet LeBron James for the second time in my life. I also got to compete in front of 80,000 people, and in my opinion, I grew up and became a better person in front of the entire world.
She will score 0 points. She's going to decide whether to continue on in this competition or not. And it's the Olympic debut of Chari Hawkins, the 33-year-old from Rexburg, Idaho.
She's having the time of her life. I'm a real tough kid, I can handle my shit. They said, babe, you gotta fake it till you make it, and I did. Lights, camera, bitch, smile, even when you wanna die.
You're looking at Chari Hawkins here, and she is dealing with some disappointment because she just no-heighted in the second event of this heptathlon.
But that life was too short, breaking down, I hit the floor. All the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more. I was grinning like I'm winning, I was hitting my marks, 'cause I can do it with a broken heart.
She's doing such a great job at keeping it together, coming off of that high jump performance where she was devastated, pulling herself off the mat and continuing to fight.
I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art. You know you're good when you can't even do it with a broken heart.
All right, Chari Hawkins really battling through these Olympic Games, I think earning some new fans because of it.
'Cause I'm a real tough kid, I can handle my shit. They said, babe, you gotta fake it till you make it, and I did. Lights, camera, bitch, smile, even when you wanna die.
She is a grinder, she pushes for everything she can get.
But that life was too short, breaking down, I hit the floor. All the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more. I was grinning like I'm winning, I was hitting my marks, 'cause I can do it with a broken heart. I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art. You know you're good when you can't even do it with a broken heart. You know you're good when you can't even do it with a broken heart.
go to the closing ceremonies, go to Disneyland Paris, and explore the beautiful city with my family. After the Olympics, I needed a vacation, so I went to the Four Seasons Maui where I was a guest. From Hawaii though, I literally flew to Washington, D.C., where I got to meet the president and tour the White House, and they gave me this jacket, which was pretty cool. This year was also all about sharing my story. I'm talking through podcasts, keynote speeches, guest appearances. I was even able to go on tour with a panel of Olympians with the Brooks team, all the way from San Diego to Chicago to Texas, all the way to New York City. I also got to give back to my community at Utah State by going and speaking to the athletes there, and I was also honored as their very first female Olympian and featured on the cover of their magazine. Speaking of giving back, we donated over 200,000 slices of bread for local food banks in our charity race, where we sold out over 10K runners in just 2 days. I was also able to fly to Salt Lake City to help Jackson throw his first pitch at a Bees game. Jackson is in remission of cancer, and there was so much money raised to help fight childhood cancer that night. I don't really play around when it comes to Halloween, and I didn't want to just be Taylor Swift. I wanted to be her in concert. So what did I have to do? I had to throw a concert. Over 7,000 people came to this concert, and I got to fulfill one of my childhood dreams, which was to be Taylor Swift. So what have I learned through this year? First of all, I learned that making an Olympic team is hard. And it's not just hard and difficult because a lot of people want to do it. Sure, that's a given. But it is hard on your body. It's hard on your brain. I feel traumatized. Was it worth it? Hell yeah. But I had to work harder than I've ever worked in my life. Number two, I learned that competition can't define you. I have had the highest of highs in my competition season and the lowest of freaking lows. And honestly, I learned that who we show up as in every single bit of our journey, whether we are flying to New York to fulfill our childhood dream or whether we're no hiding at the Olympics, if we show up as our best selves, that's really how we aim to inspire the next generation. And the third thing that I learned is that we need to start having a little bit more fun in our lives. We need to make sure that we're enjoying the journey, not just the destination. And sometimes the best parts of me getting to a goal that I look for is understanding what it really took and enjoying every single one of those processes. So what's next for me? I get asked a lot if I'm going to be at the LA 2028 Olympics, and I always like to say if there's going to be a Chari in 2028, there cannot be a Chari in 2025. However, that doesn't mean I'm not competing. I'm actually going to be doing my very first marathon, and I'm going to be doing it at the London Marathon in April. So stay tuned because I have a lot of training I'm ready to share with you. I also am so excited to announce that I'm writing a children's book. I love to inspire others to get out and run and to be the best version of themselves. And this is my story to show that competition is not about performance, but instead it's about how you show up in the world. And last but not least, I just bought my dream home in the state of Utah, so I'm moving. I cannot wait to be closer to friends and family, to be training in that altitude, and to make sure that I'm living life to the very, very fullest. I am so excited. This has been the best year of my life, and I think next year is going to be 10 times better.